traffic stop and a getaway that didn't quite get away, and thousands of opioid pills recovered.
So 4 men from California are now charged here in Butler County.
Oh, they're all from
newly
Cali.
released body camera video shows how quickly police caught up with them. Our WLW team.
So it's not necessarily a situation where you got somebody local to Ohio, maybe puts the play together, knows what's going on. They're saying all 4 people is from Cali. I didn't know that. I thought it was like maybe Geechi, maybe one of his co-defendants, but at least somebody on the ground, somebody that's local knows what's going on. When you flying and rentals and all that, somebody's real information is on a bunch of that stuff. Somebody, you know, so even when you think about the fleeing aspect, even if you get away, which you're not, you're out of state, I don't know where you're going, you're on some interstate highway, trying to run down the highway, but we'll get to that piece in a second. You know, I'm just thinking about the traceability of some of this stuff. It's like people that rob banks, right? They steal cars, and then those cars end up burned after the case. You're talking about a rental and flying in. It's the same way they got like Lil Durk and some of his peoples, right? You got flight manifest, you got rentals, you got receipts, you got credit card swipes. A lot of things happen that is so traceable, and then it just adds to the whole conspiracy thing and the whole premeditation thing.
News 5's Karen Johnson live in Westchester with a story you'll see only here on WLWT. Hi, Karen.
Well, good evening again, Cherie. Yes, among those arrested and now charged with drug possession, a California-based rapper known as Geechi Gotti.
All right, so everybody that's tripping out over that right there, everybody calm down. So they're using Geechi Gotti's name alongside the other 3 people. Why? Because he's the notable person, okay? Geechi Gotti has a lot of popularity that he's obtained from podcasting, battle rap, performances, his videos. Even before we knew him as a battle rapper, he did a couple of documentaries. So his face and his name has been going out there viral at times for years and years and years. He has a certain level of fame. Okay. And it's the news. They want to trump things up. If you could use somebody's name and you could search that type of person and make the report that much more juicy, that's what they're there to do. It's the fucking media. Speaking of the media, what always annoyed me too is how they put so much negative emphasis on the word rapper. It damn near has always felt racist to me over the years. I'll say that for another topic, but a rapper, it's just like, you got truck drivers and people that work in the supermarket and rappers and actors, all types of different people come from different jobs that get into stuff like this. But once again, it's the media. What do y'all expect? Why y'all tripping on certain things the media is doing as if it's brand new because it's Geechi?
His real name is Marcus Fandroy, and police say he was driving down I-75 last week in Westchester when police made this stop.
So do they have Geechi as the driver? Not trying to say that it's better for anybody in that car, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes that adds to things, especially here with the fleeing. You know, they're going to put that on the driver more than anybody else, right? And then that impacts things like bond and trying to get bail. You know what I mean? Like, do they have Geechi as the driver too?
Initial traffic stop on I-75 in Westchester was short-lived. The suspects weren't getting far.
Did y'all see that? There was more than one car. It looks like 3 cars that's pulled over with them. I'm just noticing that for the first time. What does that look like to y'all? Okay, how many of y'all been pulled over by the police before to get a ticket, or maybe they didn't like your tinted windows, or they thought smoke was coming out the car when whatever. Like we see people get pulled over on the humbug all the time. But it'd be one cop. Like one time I got pulled over and I was sitting there for a while. I didn't know that the cop had already called some next shit in. Right. It was a humble. It was an expired license from a ticket that I had that I didn't know double back from like a second fine because I was over a certain amount of points. Some New York shit. That's how it goes. You get a certain amount of like points on your license, then it can get suspended. The joint for paying the points off came to my crib. I had already moved. And I didn't even know that I had that second fee. So that shouldn't, the regular joint I got pulled over for like speeding or whatever, that was taken care of. But the point shit fine or whatever that came after, that can suspend your license as well. So I had a suspended license, pulls me out, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, this is weird. And then after like 10, 15 minutes, other cars pull up. I'm like, yeah, something's wrong. Like, oh, they got the wrong person. They think I'm somebody else. Nah, it's just that, you get arrested on the spot for something like that. Your car gets impounded and shit like that. But right here, no different. If you get pulled over for speeding, reckless driving, not signaling while you turn, there's one cop. They got 3 joints out there. So that could also be the reason why niggas flee. They could have been sitting there for a second. Niggas could have ran the license plate. Niggas could have ran maybe a license or whatever. And then, all right, sit right here. And then they called in. More people pulled up. And a lot of people at this point believe that this was all a sting, because in the report they say they was on one of them from the air at the time that they landed at the airport like a week prior. So they was already investigating. So they could have been following them already, or they could have stopped them, held them, and then more people showed up like, yeah, we think we got something here. Either way, them niggas in the truck knew it was up. They knew it was. So they took their shot.
Suspects weren't getting far.
It did hit sticks. It did hit sticks.
One exit south near the streets of Westchester. 4 men bailed.
Get down on the ground right now! Get down on the ground!
But police caught up.
I will shoot you! Get your hand!
Some people say running is crazy. You put your life in jeopardy. Some people say, shit, take your shot, do the race. You know what I mean? Like go for it. Go out in a blaze. Go out with it. Take a chance. I'm not here to preach to y'all take a chance. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? We got to be responsible. Then people are going to act like they know it all. They're going to say, and I don't know shit, my damn self, but people act like they know it all. Like, no, you can't get shot if you're evading and you don't have a weapon or whatever. What just happened to Rodney Hitton's son, allegedly? Now, I know they say that they recovered a gun at the scene, right? But the outrage in that community is because they're still not sure until trial starts and they get to see more details. The community still isn't sure if they feel like a child was shot in the back that was not threatening the police and if it was a justified shooting. That's some of the outrage that's happening in that community right now until that trial starts, okay? So gun on the scene, no gun on the scene, fleeing, whatever. You take a risk with getting shot. You take a risk with extra charges. You take a risk with possibly getting away. So it don't come down to this is black and white. The devil's always going to be in a detailed case by case, and I feel like obviously here they all decided to run, including Geechi, because they knew that they was grabbed up on some shit. And if you're going to run, then you got to assume that they feel like they don't have ties to the truck. Maybe they feel like who rented this is not here with us and they're going to be stand up. They could say the rental got stolen. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But like, you don't run. I mean, I shouldn't say y'all do what the fuck y'all want, but there's no sense in running as if you're going to get somewhere in today's technology and authority efforts, the way that they really track people down. You're not going to get too far if the fucking car that you leave there on the scene is still registered right back to the same name of the driver, So who knows, man? Like, we got to stop acting like we know the full scenario. We don't.
In here.
Westchester police arrested 4 men from California.
Why are y'all arresting me? Because your name's Anthony Ellis and you've been breaking into pharmacies all over the place.
And sir.
Okay. Why y'all arrest me? Because your name is Anthony Ellis and y'all been breaking into pharmacies all the way. Sometimes you don't even see police give the suspect that much information. And he said all over the place, as in multiple. So this is obviously coordinated. They was obviously on to these guys, and they're going to probably try their best to link it to multiple situations, multiple pharmacies that may have been hit. You better hope that this don't cross states. Better hope that this doesn't cross multiple. I mean, one is already bad enough in drug possession, etc., right? So they're going to have a tough fight. Obviously got a lawyer up. They're going to have a tough fight. But while they have you sitting there awaiting trial, especially if this goes through and passes grand jury, which I believe was where this case was sent, and hopefully it doesn't go federal. And then you got the crossing of the state lines, these guys coming from California to Ohio to possibly do their deeds. It's all alleged. You know what I'm saying? We pray that Geechi is innocent. But if it looks like a ring, if it looks like this is a string, if they start saying like, oh yeah, so this pharmacy over here that was also hit last month, or it doesn't even have to be last month. It could be last year. It could be 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? They start to put these pieces of these puzzles together and cross some of these open cases off of their fucking boards. Like this one right here is tied to this. This one right here, same people. Hopefully not. But that's how it gets even deeper.
searched the rental car they were in.
We searched it thoroughly. There was a large amount of pharmaceuticals in the car that looked like they came just straight from the pharmacy.
Nearly 3,000 pain pills seized, including oxycodone, morphine, and Vicodin, drugs that investigators say were stolen.
The drugs that were found were from a pharmacy called the Medicine Shop in Bellevue, Ohio. We believe that cash was found as well that was taken from a pharmacy in Perrysburg, Ohio.
Detectives say they had their eyes on the men since one of them landed at CVG last week. Tyrus Crew.
That's what I mean. Since one of them landed last week, they had their eyes on them, they're saying. So they already had some type of information that they're going off of to say, we have a possible issue with this person or these people being here. You don't have cause right away. You want to catch them in the act. That's even better, right? But when you say you had eyes on them since they landed, I mean, of course, you never know if there's a snitch. You never know if they were already on to you. You know, sometimes they let you hang out there and cause more havoc. Sometimes they'll give people bail. Let them just go out in the wind, see what they bring back, see what other charges they pick up, see who they go get next to, see who they talk to. You know, like, you don't know how big the investigation is. We don't know how small the investigation is. But when we hear reports like that, if that's true, watching somebody since he landed in the airport, then there's obviously much more to this. This ain't just randomly, y'all pulled a move and then the police just got lucky. Or you know what I mean? Like, it ain't that. At least from what the media is saying. Not saying that we could always listen and trust the media fully, but.
Anthony Ellison, Laquan Miller, and Marcus Fantroy, also known as rapper Geechi Gotti, all now face drug possession charges.
We're looking at over $10,000 to $15,000 worth of pharmaceutical drugs, at least. That's what it is to the pharmacy. That's not what it's worth in the street. So we're talking lots and lots and lots of bills.
Detective Kevin Berger said in court today, these men, quote, do this quite often.
When you say these men do this quite often, are you trying to are you talking about pill thieves in general, or are you talking about this group of people? Don't know.
And tonight, WLWT Investigates is still digging into who these people are, if they are possibly facing charges elsewhere. Also, I should note, here in Butler County, Judge Courtney Caparella Creamer found there was enough evidence to bind this case over to a grand jury. Reporting live tonight.
That's what I mean by the grand jury right there. And who knows if this goes fed? Like, that's scary. Okay. I jotted down a couple topics that I saw from the battle rap culture that we're going to talk about. And free Geechi, man, is prayers and blessings for Geechi. Should I start there real quick? Yeah, a little side mission. People talk about fake outcry when somebody from battle rap goes through something, you know, whether somebody gets hurt, loses a family member, gets arrested. One of the things that you hear is because battle rappers have gangster images, or they at least rap about a majority of them, not all of them, right? Like, I can't put this stamp on somebody like, let's say, Iron Solomon or Real Deal, you know what I'm saying? But a Geechi Gotti, you know, he has a gangster image or gangster material or a gangster message in his music. So you got the drugs, you got I'm not talking about Geechi, I'm talking about most gangster battle rap images, right? You got the drugs, you got the gangsterism, you got the shootings, you got the I'll kill you, I'll hang you off over a building, you know, all of this. Like, we know it's not even just battle rap, hip hop too. You know what I'm saying? We got to separate studio gangsters, especially in the world, in the industry, the world of hip hop. You got a lot of people, 98% of them, that don't live and haven't done none of what they rap about. And we ingest it and we understand that it's entertainment. I don't know why we would do something different when it comes to battle rap. I'll take a guess. Maybe because battle rappers are so much closer to the fans and so much more accessible and so much more down to earth and reachable than, like, let's say, the Migos, you know what I'm saying? Or fucking, I don't know, Nas or Jay-Z that rap certain shit, or Snoop Dogg or whoever. You know what I mean? Our battle rappers are right there. And why they're that accessible is going to even lead into another topic in a second. But them being so accessible, I think y'all want them to be exactly what they rap. And only a handful of them are. Only a handful of them. And even this right here, I don't attribute to he's living out his lyrics. Y'all get mad when somebody actually walks the walk of I don't think that just because Geechi gets arrested allegedly for, you know, this pill situation or this whatever, that all of a sudden oh, now it's because all his raps is real. You know what I'm saying? We know where Geechi comes from. You know what I mean, we know what he's been into, and I don't know what type of lifestyle he lives every day now. He could be tucked away somewhere in the sticks, moved out of the hood. I remember the videos when he got married, everything, him, his wife, his kids, tucked away somewhere, earning a nice living, smart enough and old enough at this point of his life to get away from some of that stuff. But I still claim what I claim. That happens with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? But then you never know. Times get rough, and I got to jump back into this lane. So everybody, let's not act like he's just walking around Nutty Block every day. You know, some people are doing that. Like, well, he lives the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like, only Geechi knows that. All right. The fake outcry, though. The thing is, people, both sides of this argument, which is crazy to see that's happening online, when I thought the focus is either going to be you give a shit about Geechi getting arrested or you don't, right? But now it's created this whole new debate in the culture. Fake outcry, who's genuine? If you post a picture standing next to Geechi, are you clout chasing? Are you trying to say that you just want to show that you know him? Or are you a person that genuinely feel like in today's era of social media, this is how I show love? Reality is both could be true. It comes down to the individual. When anybody goes through something and you feel like it's close to home to a degree, because these battle rappers and the battle rap community is so small and so niche, and there's only but so many degrees of separation between all of us, right? Yeah, you're going to have some people that feel like in today's social media era, this is the way I can express love. This is like I post it. You know what I'm saying? I post. You got people that's going to post they just lost this particular family. Tweet that. I see battle rappers I know are official. I know are genuine people. And I'll use my nigga right now. I'll use my man right now. I'll use Swave. Swave is one of the people I'm most close to as a battle rapper from battle rap that I fuck with on that level. There's only but so many people that I fuck with like I fuck with Swave. Okay. So I want to preface that to make the point even stronger. I know Swave is a real nigga. Swave is a genuine nigga. But recently, I think he had like a health little quick thing or whatever. And blessings to you. Glad you back. Glad you better. But he posted the pictures of himself in the hospital. Right now, depending on whether you know that man or not, some people that don't know Swave might look at that because of this is how social media is. Might see that picture and be like, "You looking for attention? You looking for somebody to cry you a river? You looking for outcry, right? You clout chasing." Because social media is abused like that by 99% of the people of the world that uses social media. It's an attention haven, okay? Then you got other people that's going to say, no, this is also today's era of getting the message out for those that do care. I know text messages and phone calls don't work the way they used to. It's now voice notes, DMs, tweets, and posts. And I'm trying to accept it as an 80s baby my damn self. So some people got to really look at it and be like, that's the way people communicate. That's the way sometimes people grieve. You got Jay Black. Jay Black went through his loss, you know, and rest in peace once again. Condolences, forever. And he went black. He went 0 dark 30. Nobody could find him. Nobody heard from him. People started trying to, what's going on with it? The Tech Nine stuff going, they try to bring, he's like, yo, this is how I grieve. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody is different. So two things could be true. It comes down to the individual. Some people is clout chasing off of Geechi right now, and other people genuinely give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And what do I take this moment right now to tell you which one I am? It don't even matter because it almost spoils it in the middle of this point. You know, whether I post a picture of me standing next to Geechi, which I don't have, you know what I'm saying? Or whether I say free you, or whether I blog on it or whatever, you guys are just going to have to decipher why certain people are saying certain things and posting other things. Okay. So as far as the fake outcry comes down to the fucking individual. Okay. This is one. Let's address this. Did the culture fail Geechi? No. I even see people bringing up URL and Smack, right? And I don't like them people, but I ain't gonna lie on them people neither. Them niggas is not responsible for all these hundreds of people that come through their platform. And I'd be a hypocrite if something comes my way and then I got to talk different, because that could happen to RBE. It could happen to King of the Dot. It could happen to Guerrilla Warfare. It could happen to Black Ice Cartel. It could happen to every fucking league. Every league. Let's go current, TBL. It could happen to everybody. These battle rappers, you complain too much about the restrictions of how battle rap is set up, and you do nothing about it to circumvent. I've watched it for years. There's people that they want to take their career, take their livelihood, take the reality of whether they can pay their bills, feed their children, and put it in the hands of some league owner that they met in battle rap. Now, a couple of us have grew to that type of rapport where it's just like, oh, your responsibilities to a degree become mine out of just morality and principles and the nature of our friendship. Like a responsibility of like, it's my responsibility to purposefully go out of my way to try to protect you. It's my responsibility to not lie to you or fuck you over. It's my responsibility as a true friend or loved one to try to help you get a bag. And I expect all of this and more to come back my direction as well. But that is this much out of this much. You want an example over here at RBE? Okay, I'll do Swave again. You could take ARP and Swave. We have that responsibility to each other. The moment he deviates from that, I go the opposite direction as well and say, okay, cool. We not that. I thought we was that. URL and Tay-Rock. Okay. Fucking TBL and Chilla. I know he's both battle rapping, but you get my point. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, like it's so fucking it's small. It's small. And I love that I can probably go back on my channel and find at least 10 times spanning at least 6 years, maybe longer than that, maybe 7 of the league owner. It's in my best. I said this before. It would be in my best interest to not tell y'all as a league owner what I'm about to say for the millionth time. Do not make battle rap as your primary. Make it as your secondary, because it's not a stable environment. And for many people, 95+% of them, it's not a financially lucrative environment either. So does the culture fail Geechi? Geechi could possibly be one of the artists that have made the most money in battle rap. If you tell me right now, and I'm not talking about per battle, because certain GOAT names like Geechi will be more active. And it's common sense. A more active battle rapper can't charge as much, right? So if you see a Tay-Rock, a Danny Myers, a Geechi Gotti, a Charlie Clips battling twice a month, once a month or whatever, they can't charge what a Loaded Lux, a Hitman Holla, a Murder Mook is charging. All the leagues don't even have that money to finance. So it's a different approach on your career. Do I want to collect all the bags and let it add up? Or do I just want to wait for my one battle a year and let it hit? Everybody's different. It's for y'all to sort out the industry and sift through and compare that with what you got going on in your regular life and do what works the most, okay? But anyway, if I take a collective of every battle rapper and you say, ARP, of every battle rapper, give me 30 that you believe has made in total the most money added up together. Just 30. And we know probably thousands of battle rappers. Geechi would be in that 30 that I would select. Why? Because he's been a part of the strong era. He's been a part of what a lot of people call out of the caffeine era. He's been a part of the bag chasing era, which is like now the last 3 years for battle rappers, right? When the sponsors is in and out, certain leagues is down and the activity is, you know what I'm saying? But he's still Geechi. So even in that era, he can get booked like this. He can still get booked. It's not going to be as much like I explained, but he's going to get booked. You know what I'm saying? These is hustlers. I've said publicly and privately years ago as well. I said the top hustler in battle rap to me is Arsenal. And when I say hustler, not with a negative connotation, I'm talking about knowing how to get to it, knowing how to maneuver, knowing how to move around, knowing how to negotiate, knowing how to maintain and build relationships with 50 different league owners, knowing how to show up and keep your fans engaged with you, knowing how to use and leverage your artistry and your celebrity. Arsenal, the top hustler to me, okay? The top hustler when it comes to battle rap. Somebody that when it's all said and done, forget the rapping side and the artistry side and the Mount Rushmore side and the fact that he created disrespect and all this type of shit. Just as far as making it work for me, as somebody from a fucking child to gray hairs that was able to sustain off of battle rap money. There's not a lot of those people. Those are your top hustlers, know how to use all of this shit to their benefit. So if Geechi is in that pocket of people that have that type of opportunity and he's earned it and he's built it, how could we then turn around and put the responsibility on other grown men and women and say the culture failed him? It's what we do with these opportunities. It's what we do with them. You know what I'm saying? Some people take these opportunities and start podcasts and start leagues and get into TV or keep battling or and all these type of things. You could walk the horse to the water, but you can't, right? It's the same concept. So the owners of URL, they don't have their own responsibilities. They don't, you know how much as a league owner we are put in those positions to manage your career, to make or break your career, to make sure you feed yourself or your children. I don't want those responsibilities. Nobody does, even if we're put in those situations. And if somebody keeps it real with you, they're going to tell you they don't want those fucking responsibilities either. You know? And Geechi is actually above that. He's in a place where his name, his ability, his talent, he's not the struggling to get seen or to get booked type of entity. Okay. I was texting with him a week and a half ago about the card after my March card. And I was going to put him on, me and him was both down to put him on my March card. But there's a battle that got locked in and his opponent got locked in like 5 hours or a couple hours or some shit like that before me and Geechi started, because we had a different conversation that kicked off. So he's like, yo, I'm just going to move it to the next card. We was just talking. I got a bag for Geechi to do a one-off, a full circle, whatever, forever, because it's Geechi. Every league, you see what I'm saying? So the culture did not fail him. No league owner failed him. He has had the most success. Shit, he's the billboard that I had to fight with. You know, caffeine kicks off and we're driving down the highway and you're trying to decide, do we go to this URL shit or do we go to this RBE shit that's in Atlanta the same day? The billboards that you guys are driving past is New Jersey Twerk and Geechi Gotti for the king of current modern day battle rap, the new era. This is Geechi. The culture didn't fail him. Okay, so let's stop that debate online. All right. Things will get worse. I jotted that down. When I say things will get worse, I just want to be consistent with the same things I say to people behind the scenes. I want to be able to say them publicly. And I feel like this is going to crack into the next piece and the last piece, which is perception isn't reality. And for anybody that thinks different, then go ahead and come up to speed if for whatever reason you didn't know this already. Okay. When I say it's going to get worse, we all come up from hip hop, and if you're an 80s baby or even a 90s baby, you know the origins. You appreciate the origins. You know whether it was at the lunch tables, the street corners, whether it was on beat, whether people were reusing verses like a Uncasa, you know, and it was accepted back then, whether you're standing in a cipher and it's still interpreted as a battle, or you're going back and forth verse for verse with somebody like Goods and Jay Mills and whoever stops rapping first. We got all these different forms of early modern day battle rap. Kid and Play, House Party. Fucking who can move the crowd the most, or some Busy Bee, fucking Cool Mo D shit. This is hip hop. Okay. As we continue to migrate it, fast forward like the DVD era, and then the YouTube internet era of battle rap, where people are able to know their opponent, have time, take out, write for each other, play a chess game. It gets monetized. The business comes around it. Sponsors come around it. We get formalized more. That era is still a baby. Like, we just finished celebrating what, like hip hop being 50. That era of battle rap is from a historic standpoint or history standpoint, it's still a baby. You know, that means that all of your peak battle rap era, as well as your golden era, as well as the start, those three eras, and they kind of intermingle a little bit. We know all of those league owners and we know all of those battle rappers. There's a couple names that have come on in the last 2-3 years. Are they crashing? Are they through the roof? Are they able to headline and fill up an arena? Can they make me hundreds of thousands of dollars on a pay-per-view? No. That means that we're not a booming industry. And if I want to focus just on all the league owners and battle rappers, which is why you keep the industry was never to do bars over names and move away from these people. That golden era is still the highest drawing people. You still got to call people that were on those DVDs or you know, did fucking Street Status early wave documentary shit that's come, a Charlie Clips, a fucking a DNA, a K-Shine, a Goods, you know what I'm saying? We still got to call these guys today, and they're still the biggest drawers today. I said all of that to say that means that all of these guys on the younger side are in at least their 30s. That's on the younger side. That's the being nice side. A majority of them are all in their 40s now or knocking on 40. And a couple of them are in their 50s. No bullshit. A couple of them. Okay? That's how young battle rap still is. We don't even span multiple, like it's 100 years old or something. No. As far as modernized, monetized battle rap. What does that mean to me? If battle rap never reached the business rotation of, like, let's say, sports, real legitimized sports, the NBA, let's use that. If it never got to that, if we never got to those sponsors, if we never got to that type of appeal, if we never were consistently on TV, if we never even got to the point of where our battles, our cards, our events reach outside battle rap media, we never even reached that. It's not like every main event makes TMZ or Tasha K or Joe Button podcast or Academics. No, the last time Academics talked about battle rap was probably Geechi Gotti versus Easy to Block Captain, because Rems shit with Geechi's round. Speaking of Geechi. All right. I'm just giving an example of we've never got there. If I ask you right now, how many battle rappers do you think are millionaires? And I'm not going to say that 3 of them are. I'm not going to. But if you said more than 3, you would be crazy. And it's not 3. It's not. I guarantee you it's not. I'll put money up it's not. All 3 of them, if they existed, they don't. Okay? And there's a bunch of league owners, some of your biggest league owners broke as shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not using that as a negative, like to be brokenness. All I'm trying to say is things are going to get worse, because all these people that are in their 30s, knocking on 40, or already in their 40s, they're going to wake up tomorrow now and start brand new careers? They're going to wake up tomorrow now and all of a sudden they're going to have health insurance and life insurance and 401k that has been invested in already for 20, 30 years, and retirement plans and stuff like that? No. That's why I mean, it's like logically inevitable that things are going to get worse when I'm not trying to say everything's going to make the news, but behind the scenes, people are going to hurt more and more and more and more, especially if they were choosing and electing to keep battle rap as their primary source of income. You got people that are still jaded because battle rap is easy to get into and attention is the worst drug in the world. And some of them genuinely want to express their artistry. But battle rap is so easy to come into, and you get that feeling, you get that cheer from the crowd, you get that attention, you get a couple followers on Twitter or Instagram, and people say, this is what I want to do. And the person that is one of the biggest league owners that ever come through this bitch, and it actually benefits me to not tell you this. It benefits me to let y'all believe in a dream so that you can book with me, right? Doesn't benefit me to tell you this, but I've been telling you for years, battle rap shouldn't be your primary. It should be your secondary or even further down the line. I don't care how gangster of a battle rapper you are. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how top of a rap, the best pen in the world. Okay. Let me close out with the last chapter. The perception is reality. Now, we've seen examples of this over time. And if we are real with ourselves, it tells us and it shows us. You know, I've seen some of the biggest battle rappers expose some of the biggest league owners for living with their parents at certain times of the peak of their career. Okay. We've seen footage of people's cribs drop and go viral. Look like a millionaire lifestyle to y'all. Look like a super high-end lifestyle to y'all. We've seen, I'll use Nitty. Shout out to Nitty. They brought that to the stage. I'm just talking about public shit, like working at Walmart or something like that, right? They brought that to the stage, and I'm going to use that. I'm going to spin back to in a second. They brought that to the stage. They rapped about that. They rapped about, or it was talked about twice for Old Red. And to me, Old Red is, I argue him as one of the best pens in battle rap of all time. It's one of my favorite battle rappers. The security guard thing, I think Old Red said it. It said somebody was at his job or something. They kept looking at him, walking past him, and finally he got frustrated. Like, yeah, it's me. He's just working his regular job, minding his fucking business. And then the other one came into play when he battled Jag. You could see it at the face-off. Old Red was spinning it and laughing at it. He said, I make good money doing Uber Eats, right? If battle rap is moving like that, or this contract that you got from this league, or calf, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would somebody do like Uber? You know, like, because you got to be smarter than that. Shit, I think, speaking of Old Red, I think he was smart enough to say that all the way in his rounds back when he battled Oops. I think he says something like, shit, that job is the shit that helps you keep the heat off of you, let alone survive waiting for a league owner to put you on a card. Because how many battle rappers is cutting out the middleman and starting their own league? We could count them on two hands. You got Big Cannon, John, Easy, Hitman, Chilla. And of all the battle rappers that got into lanes of being a league owner, some of them failed. Some of them never were financed, right? Some of them were in and out very, very fast. And some of them are turned off by it. So when we talk about people's realities behind the scenes and the jobs that some of them have taken, like let's say the Rum Nitty one that came to the stage, the fucked up thing is a lot of people don't want to do jobs because there's a difference between a job and a career. A lot of people don't want to do a job where you're visible to the same public that might revere in you. That's the thing about fame or internet fame. Even if you're a C-class celebrity, that's the thing about it, you know? And we all have egos. I've felt that before. You know, I don't like walking through the airports looking, I don't like going anywhere looking crazy, maybe around the crib, but I'm like, I got to go to the airport. Let me throw my shit on. Because I know I'm going to bump into a bunch of people. Oh, they go AR. I know that. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real, man. You know, you go to the mall, you might take a couple pictures. You might shake a couple hands. You might get called out of, yo, AR. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool, man. It's cool to be recognized for our impact on the world. It is cool. But now imagine if that's happening to me and I'm I'm stocking aisles in Zara in the mall. One of my favorite clothing stores. You know, yo, you know what I mean? Like part of an artist's, a rapper, an entertainer's appeal is that they have this unreachable or this higher level of life and perception. And it's far from the truth. Even with the industry rap, it's far from, you know, I'm better. I feel like even the industry rappers, the big name rappers or whatever, they don't live like me. A lot of them. You know what I'm saying? It's such a false fucking perception. But people having to spin back at this point of their life and maybe pick up an odd job or whatever. Some people, they don't want to do that. Nobody want to get seen scanning groceries at Walmart or working a cart in the mall or whatever, because sometimes it's too late to start a career. You know, so when you can't start a career in your 30s or your 40s and have a resume and back history, if that's something you've been doing, like an electrician or an engineer or a mechanic or a realtor, or like, these things aren't easy to just turn around and say, well, I'll do this. Because if it was that easy, everybody'd be doing it and making a bag, right? It's not easy to just pivot when you're like, all right, I'm 38. Let me figure out something new. Then people start to have ideas of like entrepreneurialism. Can I start a business? Can I start a league? Can I start a podcast? Can I, you know? And if that don't click, or if that's a down month, or if, speaking of a down month, you guys know something about YouTube? Sidebar. You could ask any MCM or Quarter Lab will tell its clients. If you have big content, like if I was going to release a full circle battle, don't release it in December, January, and maybe not even February. Because the ad rate in YouTube and all the sponsorship of YouTube is like the low downtime for YouTube. They're like, don't drop it then. We're going to make half the money. Wait until like March all the way through. And December is one of the biggest months. Everybody makes more money online on YouTube in December. The ad rate is higher. You know, I say that to say people that's living off of YouTube, if you have a lifestyle that's cut at what you make in July, and then you go through like a December, January, February, and you don't got nothing in your savings account. Oh shit, I got to bust a move. You get it? You know what I'm saying? So these areas, podcasting, and you can look at the viewership of some of these channels. Don't be, oh, he has a podcast, so why is he in the street? I don't see the viewership on any of our platforms from YouTube that equate to the type of lifestyle that most of us want, or the bills that some of us may not have, or the responsibilities that might be on some of our shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. You know what I'm saying? I think we have a pretty good YouTube channel here. I got a library of 10 years of fucking content. I got new content that I create pretty much every fucking day. I got 2 channels now. I think I'm one of the better producing financially channels from battle rap, yet I can't live off of this shit. I don't want my kids to have to live at these means. I don't want to live at these means. So what makes you think, and nobody, I got here with a career. I maintained one during, and I was never stupid enough to say, even though you're one of the best league owners, or you just did max out and look at, oh my God, we could do this. I had this argument with Shatta once upon a time. He said, yo, why don't you stop all that shit? Let's do this full time. I said, fuck no. I was right on that one. I might have lost some arguments to him, but I was right on that one. And I think I am in one of the bigger seats and opportunities to make money as a league owner of a prominent platform. And even I said, fuck no. So the perception is y'all reality, not mine. So I guess I say all of that to say, to bundle up this last piece and say, it's sad news to see that with Geechi, but it's not supposed to be shocking. Okay. And like I said, not everything's going to make the news, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of people busting a lot of moves, because in that point of life where things, the strangulation is getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And if we don't set ourselves up, if we don't move on to a way better A option than waiting to be a league owner and do an event, or waiting to be a battle rapper and get booked, if that is your primary source of income, you will end up in situations where you have to question what is next. So free Geechi, right? Free Geechi. And, you know, when things first happen with somebody, I guess locked up, sometimes you get moved around. Sometimes things get settled. It takes a minute. Your visitors list get crafted and all that. So I'm pretty sure by the time his JPay goes around, some of us from the community is going to put some money on his books. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where he's at right now. His peoples should continue to try to get that information out to the internet. You know, And I don't even want to put that on certain people because, you know, I mean, we'd see people that are around him consistently. But I want to assume that some of those people will help to continue to get his updates and his information out. And then if you want to help Geechi or just sit back and watch, or you don't have any personal connection to him at all, then cool. Everybody's different. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily make you fake, or it doesn't make you godly for helping him. Everybody's in a different situation or has a different type of relationship or vibe or energy towards Geechi. But Geechi is generally liked. And I think that's one of the reasons why you see some of the culture reacting like that, whether they're clout chasing or they're keeping it 100. Okay? But it doesn't shock me. It doesn't shock me. You guys have already seen too much to act shocked from this, but you guys got short memories, or you just lack common sense.